Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coffee with the Kingpins. I have the pleasure to have my good friend, my teacher, Simon Chokoisky. And today, actually, we are going to delve into all the books that he has published. Hi, Simon. How are you?
Doing
Why are
great.
you frowning?
Yeah, because I'm a human being, and human beings are subject to the fluctuations of life, and
You
that's
okay?
why we have these planets. Can you not see my head? That's why we have these planets, and they're more malefic planets than benefic planets, and they're always moving. And so, as Einstein said, life is like riding a bicycle. The key to balance is moving forward. And so that is that is what we have to do. And knowing your chart, knowing what your design is, your sort of how God made you. It's not preempting God's plan. It is getting in touch with it so you could better appreciate what Spirit has in store for you. Spirit, God, whatever, however you want to call it.
Never. Yeah.
And the chart is a wonderful way to tap into that and to have gratitude for it. And so part of my way has been through writing, which my chart shows writing. And I've always been a writer. That's my thing. And I'm not going to bore you guys with a lot of that today, but I think the key to giving the viewers value here is helping you find what is your talent, what is special in your life and in your chart. And I can show you how to do that in a few minutes.
Okay, thank you. But before we go there, tell us a little bit about what is happening with the planets today.
Well, we're talking about the sidereal zodiac. So the signs and the degrees I mentioned may sound weird to you if you're used to the tropical zodiac. They both work. They're both different systems. It's like healing. You have acupuncture, chiropractic, herbs, Ayurveda. They're all different systems of healing, but the goal is the same, which is to affect wholeness in the person. And so right now in the sky, we have Jupiter very close to the star Pollux. That's whichever zodiac you use. That's there. And in Vedic astrology, that's the last degree of Gemini. So anybody with a Gemini ascendant or moon should be feeling good right now, empowered, like the universe is helping you along. Like you have an extra push. It doesn't mean you can just, sit back and do nothing, but you're riding with the stream. It's pushing you along, right? You got a good wave to surf on. Um, what else is going on? There are a lot of planets. There is a planetary war, a couple planetary wars coming up in a few days between Mars will be combust, Mars and Mercury, and so forth. So more struggle, more issues. I should have actually prepared a chart to show you what all. I didn't expect this question. Uh, I should have known. But planetary wars indicate conflict within people, and usually that conflict results in outer conflict. So, but that's always going on. The main thing is knowing and understanding your own chart, your own design, so that you can move forward. And if you're having good days or bad days, I have good days and bad days. You can still contextualize them in the grand scheme. So, for example, I'll give you a quick hint. If you know your chart a little bit, okay, and if you don't, I have free videos on YouTube decoding your life map with Vedic astrology. If you want the full series, it's on my website, decodingvedicwisdom.com, and it's $97 and you get the full series. If you're a beginner in Vedic astrology, that's where you want to start. And it walks you through what each planet means in each of the houses, starting with the sun. But I'm going to skip forward to the moon. So where the moon is, which house in the Vedic system is what's special in your life, is where your creativity goes. It's where you have special talent. Doesn't mean it's your only thing, but it's where you feel you have a special talent. So if moon is in your third house, it might have to do with talent with your hands, and then if there's other Venus, then maybe musical talent, dance talent, creative talent. If it's in your 10th house, you have a talent for career and climbing the corporate ladder, or if you work for yourself, for finding juice and joy through work, because the moon is juice. It rules that which gives you that emotional sustenance.
Yes.
So I have moon in my fifth house. So that gives me a special, that's a very romantic kind of quality of someone who, creative writing. And that's what I've always done. Um, my books aren't all creative. They're very left brain about finding your purpose, the five dharma types. But this one that I don't know if you can see it,
You
the
disappeared.
Bach ballads,
You
it disappeared.
disappeared.
I know it's a green screen. There it is.
Yeah.
Um, it's about my journey into Vedic astrology. It's written in the style of Lord Byron, and a very formal rhyme scheme, and sort of what I think is elegant language, but also very also cheeky at the same time. So, um, and that I did for the last 20 years, just kind of doing it for myself, but I finally published it. And so anyway, it's not necessarily even what's going to make you money. It's where you're special, where you get juice. So if you have moon in the seventh house, then relationships. Oh my God, this is a person who lives for having contact, interpersonal contact with especially with a loved one. If moon is in your first house, then you're special. There's something about you that draws people to you. And if it's in your second house and something about your tongue or your face, a lot of actors have moon in the second house because we're drawn, we want to look at them, right? Or models, or orators, people who speak for a living, and so forth. So where the moon is in your chart is where God, spirit, creation has given you a special talent.
Right. Now, about your recent book, it is a book of poetry, correct?
Yes.
And what is the basis?
Well, the basis is, I mean, I can share some of it with you. If you want me to, if I could share my screen, let me share my screen and I'll do it. Um, it was, so as I was learning Vedic astrology, in order to memorize some of the meanings, I wrote a poem on the nakshatras, all the 27 nakshatras with their qualities. And it was this rhymed sort of long poem. And that went over pretty well with the other students that I was studying with. So I got inspired to write this bigger thing on the 12 houses. Now, the 12 houses, the word house is not the word. It's called bhava. Bhava means state of being. And so the seventh house is the state of your relationships and how relationships work in your life. If you have a very difficult seventh house, then that state of relationships is in a sorry state. The relationships are in a sorry state, or relationship outcomes. If your fourth house and so forth. So the bhavas are how you relate to fourth house, your mother, ninth house, your father, seventh house, your relationships. And what I go in through the filter of my own sort of poetic experience is explain those bhavas, but also with a very personal touch. This
Yeah.
is not an elevator pitch, or it's a very long elevator ride because I should be able to do it, summarize it in 15 seconds, but whatever.
So I allowed you to share your screen.
Okay. Um, well, let's see then. Let's see what I'm going to share with you. Let's do that right now. Okay, so you can see here is the book. It is available on Amazon. It's 18 bucks. It's not going to break the bank. And if you want a nice coffee table thing, you can discuss with your intellectual friends. You're absolutely welcome to. This is my website. 30-second promo. Let's do it here so people know who I am. Decodingvedicwisdom.com if they don't. And the class I was talking about is here, Decoding Your Life Map with Vedic Astrology. Also, in my opinion, fairly cheap for what you get. Some of these videos are free on YouTube, so that's no charge. Go check that out to learn the very basic essence of Vedic astrology. But it's stuff that even advanced people go, oh man, this is really cool. It's very right because there are archetypal things that are valuable for beginners and advanced practitioners alike.
I see you have
So,
hair there.
oh yeah, that's when I had checked this out. What? We're talking about
Shake
dharma,
your
artha,
head.
kama, and moksha. Yeah, so I give this little super cheeky little technique. Um, Depending on how many planets you have in each bhava, you count which houses are activated. Dharma, which indicate law, philosophy, religion. Um, it means righteousness. Artha, which means wealth. So anything from business, commerce, banking, uh, kama, which means enjoyment. So arts, filmmaking, dance, and so forth. And then moksha, which is liberation. So the path of no path. And so depending on how many planets you have in each type of these houses, we talk about what that means for the person. So that's the thumbnail there.
Right.
All right. So what should I share with you today? I will share. So this is the Bob Ballads. I will share. Maybe I will read you. You want me to read you a little bit of the prologue? Yes? No?
Yes, sure. Or maybe choose one of the ones that, I mean, I know it's a difficult question. Do you have a favorite one?
No, I don't have any favorite children. I
Yes,
love them all equally, unlike some people.
yes.
No, it is fifth house is both children and creative stuff. So anyway, this is and it starts with this. Okay, maybe I won't read to you. You guys can read from it. But the idea is that we're accessing this incredible lineage through a poetic gift. So it says, had I some speck of social life, a girlfriend, consort, or a wife, I wouldn't beat my brains to write what at best will be called trite. Now that's from the Nakshatra poem. So this continues. But here I am, my friends, again, me, my best and only friend, the pen, the candor of the virgin page, my marble slate, my lyre, my stage. Now, this word candor is a beautiful word. It comes from the Latin, and actually older than that, it comes from Sanskrit. Candere means to shine pure white light. So when someone is being candid, they're shining their true essence with the world. And this is what all art is, Firoze. This, you are being truthful and candid with the world and sharing your essence. For people to ridicule or to love doesn't matter, but it's because you have this light inside. So this word candor, and the page, of course, is the ultimate. It's your mirror because the page is a white page. So the candor of the virgin page that hasn't been touched, and so the idea is that we are, as a writer, you're making love to the page in this union of, anyway, I'll just keep reading. To fill the space between the lines, the race from birth to death defines with golden laurels, though I'm loath to chase for golden laurels both. Instead, I'd rather spend my time in measured paces chasing rhymes before I stop to catch my death and awe inspire with bated breath. With bated breath, for all I write belies the truth that lies, despite the splendor of its light behind the veiled contrivances of rhyme. So I'll
Beautiful.
leave it at that.
Beautiful.
But this is this is the beginning, and it's a long ass book. I mean, this is 80 pages, and it just covers the first four bhavas. So there's a lot there. But
Oh, you have some pictures in it, right? I
I
see.
do have some pictures in it. Yes, they're not the feature, but they are a part of it. So this is the second house, the house of nourishment, represented here. And then the third house of self-effort comes along, and that's here. And then we have The fourth house. By the way, these are generated. I generated them, but through AI. I didn't make these. Full disclosure. The fourth house of the deep subconscious mind. They're beautiful images. I mean, I did work a fair bit at them to get them right. And well, and that's it. So there's only four houses, and then there's a lot more personal stuff and so on. So anyway, this stuff is on Amazon. If you want to support a starving artist, me, namely, you're welcome to purchase it here, and that would help me a great deal. So thank you.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about the books that you have. I have one of them here. I
Only one?
no, I have all of them, but I just want to show one of them. So explain what was the um God, I'm losing my words today.
The purpose of them?
Yes.
Yes. Well, the purpose was to discover my purpose. So in the process of um, being in an outsider life cycle, and I think a lot of people spend time in an outsider life cycles, or they are themselves outsiders. And the biggest difficulty in that is knowing why you're here. What is your purpose on this planet? And I'm again in an outsider cycle. So right now I'm in this exploration phase again. But it took 10 years to write this book. And during those 10 years, I researched Vedic wisdom. And what came out was these 5 Dharma types. But it's amazing how you see this in nature. You see, even in the armed forces, there's army, which is the laborer. There's Marines, which is the warrior. There's Air Force, which is educator. And then there's Navy, which is merchant. And then what is the fifth, the outsider type? The covert operations or the Coast Guard, right? The ones that aren't part of the major four. You see this in government structures. You see this in everyday life. You see this in your animals. Your animals can be Dharma types. So knowing your type or knowing your son or your daughter's type or your parents can help you relate to them. Right. Because let's say your parent is a laborer, Dharma type. No amount of words or philosophy or reasoning is going to break through. What's going to break through is spending quality time with them, is hard work, is loyalty, and shared experience. And that's when they will believe whatever you have to say. It won't be through browbeating them with books and stuff like that. But an educator, let's say your child is an educator Dharma type, and you want to get them to do something, okay? To clean up their room or to wash the dishes. You don't go in and force them. You have to give a logical argument. You have to give wisdom. What is the wisdom of them cleaning up their room? And then it makes sense to them. Like, oh, of course. Okay, I'll do it. A merchant type, you have to bribe. Now, I know that sounds bad, but bribe how? With reward. There has to be some exchange of energy if you're dealing with a merchant. They get free time, they get money, they get to go out, they get the use of the car, they get whatever. But there's an exchange, right? For a warrior, it needs to be task oriented, this achieving a goal. And there can be a reward, but the reward isn't, Muhammad Ali didn't go into the Olympics for the value of the gold medal. He went there for the value of what being the best stands for. So warriors are motivated by ambition, by meeting goals. And so you set every week for your kids, you set who are warrior types, certain goals they have to meet, and they love it because they love the challenge. So knowing these types relates to every area of your life. It is truly, it is part of nature. They are archetypes. Arche means ancient, and ancient meaning primordial. They're part of Spirit's creation, God's creation. Anyway, I'm boring you now.
No.
Too much preview. But
and the next one.
The next one is Sex, Love, and Dharma, which is about human relationships, particularly sexual relationships and how to how to make optimize and make the most of them. And it starts with a very biological understanding of male cycles, female cycles, and everybody knows if you have a headache or you have gas or you're not feeling good, you're not going to be in the mood, and romance is going to be stifled. So it starts with actually understanding your own health. So Sex, Love, and Dharma is that next book.
And the gambling one.
And then there's the gambling one, which is about learning astrology to predict sports outcomes. So it's a very different track, but still part of the creative process.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Thank you. So, do you think there are more books to come?
It might be, Fee. What I'm open to ideas. So if you guys leave a comment, leave a comment on Firoze's on this talk, and let's see what happens.
Right. Well, I mean, I love that. I haven't gotten the book yet, but I will definitely. I mean, I myself write poetry, and I love the way the words just sort of flow and dance together. Beautiful.
Haven't gotten the book is down to my being a bad friend, and you will get the book so very soon. So just hang tight.
Thank you, thank you,
In
thank you.
fact, this might be your copy, I
Oh,
think, that
okay.
I'm holding in my hand.
Well, I need it signed,
Yes, yes, it will
autograph,
be signed.
autograph.
Yes.
So I was actually wondering, uh, the book about sex dharma, was that the initiation for the app that you created that's called Delano with two A's?
That came long before Delano, but this idea of helping people find their optimal partner, their optimal mate, has come full circle. So get this. Okay, this is not about me anymore. I wrote the book Sex, Love, and Dharma to help people have better understanding of themselves and their partnerships. What that led to was using astrology to help match people, and a lot of trial and error, a lot of error, but we've come out on the other side, we think, with something that's really strong. And what we came out with, it came to this idea that the healthier the sexual relationship between the couple. Now, everything else still has to be in place, but the sex life was a barometer, um, a proxy, you may even say, for the entire relationship. That the better, and by better, it doesn't mean you're having sex every day. It means that there's a nourishing, fulfilling quality to being together physically that you might have it once a month, but it just fulfills you. You feel good. That the quality of that was a proxy for the quality of the relationship. And so we come back to this idea of sexuality. And it's a big theme. And I think, honestly, I'm going to say this here for the first time. So whoever's watching, and if you've made it to this point of the video, you're literally the first to hear it, because Fee hasn't heard this yet. I am thinking of making an app that matches people strictly on those criteria. What we in Delano have, it's called the best sex of your life, check mark.
Right.
That you make an app, people register for free, and you find out with whom in your area or around the world you have this match, and then you guys can take it or not. I'm thinking of doing that because I never would have dreamt that before. But having gone through this arc and discovering that sexuality is a big part. Now, yes, spirituality is also a big part. And so is friendship. And so are a lot of things. But I think to fully, especially for a woman, and forgive me if that's sexist or not, but to open herself up to a man, to fully be able to open herself up, all those things have to align: the spirituality, the friendship, this feeling safe, the feeling loved, the feeling cherished, the feeling nourished by your man. And so that's why sexuality shows. So for her to be able to fully open up means that everything else is in order. She feels safe, secure, cherished, nourished, and loved. And so if we have a metric for that, I know that sounds very cold and left brain, but we kind of do, or we can approximate that. Who, and for people who are single, with whom can you find that kind of openness? And of course, for a man, it's a different process, but it's similar. It's who do you feel just connected to, and not like you're with them and then you just want to leave.
Right.
That's
I,
not the best sex of your life. Best sex of your life is you're with them and you're like you just think you're just nourished. You feel you're thinking about them all day long, and so if we build an app that can match people who have that, why not? Why not give it to the world? So anyway, I'm thinking about it. If you think it's a good idea, leave a comment. If not, also leave a comment because listen, I listen to the universe. I listen to what the world showed me. I mean, I'm being serious now. That, that quote by Einstein, to keep your balance, you have to move forward. But which direction forward you move is often, when it's self-determined, it's often limited because we only have two little eyes and we can't see all the perspectives. There might be a cliff here, but I can't see it, so I head toward. So I rely on the universe. I rely on people to tell me what they want to learn and what they want from me, and I move in that direction.
I think it's a great idea. And also, when you have great sex with someone, I think there is a very powerful spiritual component behind it. I mean, some people might not realize it, but there is a connection because ultimately, two people coming together, unified, and really that kind of raises the vibration. So it is a spiritual act. And I think part of the issue nowadays is I think society has made it so much just about the physical, which is, it takes you away from that very,
Yoga has five bodies. There is the Annamaya Kosha, the physical body, okay? The Pranamaya Kosha, the breath body, the Manomaya Kosha, the emotional body, and so forth. So great sex on the physical level, that's just 1 out of 5. So if you've hit that, you've only hit 20%. What we're talking about is 100%. And so, can you imagine having that on the physical level? Because if it were just about that, then prostitution would, that would be the ultimate fulfillment, right? Because you have the physical, but there's no intimacy, there's no, right, anything else potentially, unless it's Pretty Woman and it's Richard Gere and Julia Roberts, right? But how often does that happen? I don't know. So you need the other four bodies, and that's what we're trying to approximate is that full connection, and then you get this, right? Instead of just ET phone home, this.
yeah. And the next wonderful idea, and hopefully at some point it will happen, is basically to use the app Delano for all these dating apps because it would make life so much easier. Now, I was going to make a joke, but I think it might not be appropriate. So I will refrain. But I was going to say, when you match to people sexually, what if, physically they're not really.
Yeah. And guess what? There are, if you watch any of these cable channels, you'll see that there's a person who's 4'9" with a person who's 7'5", a person who's 30 years old with a 70-year-old. You see all these odd matchups, and yet they love each other.
Yeah,
And so, who am I to judge?
right, 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 right.
Let people work that out for themselves. So yes, there will be times when you find you have, the great match, but it's someone that you might not be at all attracted to. And that's fine. That's perfectly normal.
Yeah,
That's why you'll find many matches.
yeah, yeah. Very, very interesting.
And I will say that there is, a lot of hardcore religious people, both Christian, Muslim, and otherwise, um, don't like astrology. And I understand why. Because we are preempting God's plan, or we're presuming to know. At least that's the precept. But I push back on that. I mean, first, from the Christian sense, it was astrologers who saved baby Jesus's life, right? Those are the three
Yes.
wise, or the wise men from the East. But beyond that, um, what we as astrologers, we know what we can measure and we know what we can't. We cannot measure necessarily the evolution of the soul. I mean, you can see it sometimes, you can feel it, but so when you match two people, they may be a perfect match. Hitler might have been a perfect match with you on paper. Potentially, we don't know. But because of the soul evolution, the difference, even though there is quote unquote match, you're vastly different people, and it's like you're an airliner at 30,000 feet and a little helicopter at 5,000 feet. You're never supposed to be together. So that is something that is still left to mystery, to the divine, and we don't presume to know that.
Right.
All we can say is, look, your architecture fits well with this person's architecture. That's it.
That's it. Yeah. Well, thank you for all your wisdom today.
Hariom.
Looking forward to sharing your Amazon link with everyone for your very most recent book of poetry. Thank you for being with us. And I wanted to thank everyone, all our viewers that are watching us. And please do comment. And I'm also going to share Simon's website. Actually, I would like you to, before we say goodbye, to talk about the course that you are actually doing right now.
From the Krishnamurti course.
Yes.
By the way, yes, thank you for helping a starving poet, for buying me lunch, because that's what you're basically doing when you buy my book, and I appreciate it.
Maybe
And I do,
coffee, actually.
probably, yeah, maybe coffee, because Amazon takes 60%, right? So I'm making 7, $8 on that book. So thank you for buying me the coffee. I'm genuinely grateful. And for everyone who does, I'm happy to answer questions or comments. You can email me directly. I like to have an interactive sort of thing. As far as the Krishnamurti course, it is an advanced level of Vedic astrology that is designed to answer specific questions. One of the ones that has been a real eye opener is the lifespan potential of a person, and that was unexpected. But some of the students were able to calculate short, medium, long lifespan. And I know this seems weird and a little touchy for some people, but it is possible. But other things as well to answer questions. So that's still ongoing. It's on my website.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Simon. It was a pleasure as usual, and I just wanted to ask everyone if you really enjoyed my conversation with Simon, please do like, subscribe, and comment, and please share with your other friends. So, Simon, thank you again, and see you very soon.